Publisher 2010 is a program in the Microsoft Office suite. It can be used to create publications like name badges, brochures, menus, and more. If you're familiar with Microsoft Office, you probably know that you can create these materials in Word. However, there are certain advantages to Publisher. For example, it gives you more control over the size, shape, and layout of your document, whether you're working on a tiny business card or a multi-page newsletter. Unfortunately, Publisher 2010 lacks some of the features that are present in Word 2010, like themes, shape styles, and advanced photo editing. The interface, however, has been updated to include the new ribbon, which is the collection of tools and features at the top of the screen. Here, everything you need is divided into tabs to make it easier to navigate. If you look closely at the upper left corner above the ribbon, you'll find the Quick Access toolbar. This little toolbar is designed to give you access to frequently used commands like save and undo no matter where you are on the ribbon. Now let's take a look at the work area and the publication itself. That's the space in the center where I've already started putting together a newsletter. If your publication has multiple pages, you can navigate between them using the pane on the left. To zoom in or out on your publication or change the page view, use the controls in the bottom right corner. Here's what they look like up close. I'm just going to click and drag the slider to zoom in, then scroll up, so we can check out some of the tools designed to help you with your layout. First, we have rulers, above and to the left. These make it easier to align things like text and images in your publication. If you don't see the rulers in your copy of Publisher, go to the View tab, then check the box next to Rulers. Also in this group, we have editing tools like baselines. See the dotted lines on my publication? Basically, everything in this group is designed to help you control the layout of your content. Each tool can be turned on or off by checking the box, as you can see, and they won't appear in your printed publication. The other tool I'd like to show you is Guides. Guides are thin dotted lines that can be used to align various things in your publication. The blue ones mark the edges or margins of the printable area. These are created automatically when you set your margins or insert a page. The green lines are custom guides that you can create yourself. All you have to do is click, hold, and drag your mouse away from the ruler. See how it works? To move a custom guide, click and drag it again. Finally, I'd like to show you where to go to do things like saving your file. If you're familiar with Publisher 2007, you may have noticed that the Office button is missing. That's because it's been replaced by the File tab, which takes you to the new Backstage view. Here you can explore all the options related to your current publication and more. That includes things like recent files, new, and print. It's everything you would have found in the old Office or File menu, except now you have a nice full-page view. For example, I like the convenience of being able to adjust the print settings and see a preview all in one place. Now that you know your way around Publisher, including the Backstage view, the ribbon, and the work area, you can start planning your first publication.
Like what you just saw? Rate it.
Add a comment.
Subscribe to our channel.
The freedom to learn.
What you want, when you want.
Absolutely free.
GCF learnfree.org.
When you open Publisher to create a new publication, you should find yourself right where you need to be, on the File tab, under New. Here you can start from scratch by opening a blank file, available in several different sizes and orientations. Or you can take advantage of one of Publisher's pre-designed templates. A template is a file that contains placeholders for your content, both to help you save time and create a publication that looks professional. There's something for almost every occasion, from business cards to calendars, even personalized greeting cards. This time, we'll take a look at flyers in the marketing category. Your choices appear in this part of the pane with a preview on the right. See how it works? Generally, you have two kinds of templates to choose from: files that you download from office.com, that's this section here, and files that are installed on your computer. These are simpler in design, but they do allow you to customize things like the color scheme and fonts. I'm looking for something specific, a flyer with tearaway tabs for my contact information. Let's take a look at some more templates from office.com. One thing to keep in mind, some of these were actually created by other users. You can tell which ones by the icon in the corner. While Microsoft does review these templates, they're not guaranteed to be free of viruses or other defects, so think carefully before you download. This one looks like what I had in mind. It's provided by Microsoft, so I know I can trust the source. To continue, click the Download button, and the template will open in a new window. Now, before I fill in my content, I'd like to make some changes to the publication layout to better suit my needs. You can do this with any type of publication, be it a blank file or one that you created from a template. Just go to the Page Design tab. Here you can easily customize the size, depending on the paper you're going to use to print your publication. You can also adjust the margins. Remember, these determine the print area. Finally, you can change the orientation from portrait to landscape or vice versa, but this may have a negative effect depending on the template you chose. Now I'd like to switch to another example, a pricing menu with multiple pages. It uses one of the simpler templates that comes with Publisher, and I've already filled in most of the content. We can still change the template to something else, however. All you have to do is click Change Template on the Page Design tab. Now pick a new one from the window. How about this one? And click OK when you're done. Here, you'll want to select the first option to apply the template to the current publication. Click OK one more time, and the change takes place immediately. The great thing about this feature is that it also works on publications that started out blank. Before we finish up, I'd like to show you how to work with multi-page publications using the page navigation pane on the left. From here, it's easy to add, delete, and rearrange pages to better suit your needs. To delete, for example, all you have to do is right-click, then choose Delete from the menu, then click Yes to confirm. To add a page, right-click again, but this time choose Insert Page. A pop-up window will appear so you can specify what you need. I want just one new page after the page I currently have selected, so I'm not going to change anything here, but you could always add more. When you're ready, click OK, and the page appears in your file. Finally, to move a page in your publication, click and hold it, then drag where you want the page to go. See that horizontal line? That marks where it's going to be moved when I release my mouse. As you can see, creating publications is easy. Once you know the secret to using templates, customizing the layout, and working with multiple pages to suit the needs of your project.
Like what you just saw? Rate it.
Add a comment.
Subscribe to our channel.
The freedom to learn.
What you want, when you want.
Absolutely free.
GCFlearnfree.org.
Desktop Publishing and Data Entry, the best translation service provider. Desktop publishing is the use of a computer or workstation to produce high-quality files containing text and graphics that are formatted. Desktop publishing is used to make printed material like Book covers, brochures, all file types, user manuals, textbooks, novels, publications, point of sale displays, promotional materials, artwork. Our team has experts in cultural and foreign conventions in the print world, helping ensure that your message is displayed in the best possible means to a vast variety of readers. Doing Translate Services provides specialists in several desktop publishing applications, such as Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, in addition to CorelDRAW, PageMaker and more to deliver you the most professional results. You can either give us your requirements to initiate the job from scratch, or we could adapt existing documents to be used in different languages while alerting you about any foreign language conventions that might affect the readability of your merchandise. Our in-house designers are experts not only in producing the right graphics and layout for your business but also in getting this across in a wide selection of languages. Contact us to discuss all your DTP needs. Order now.
The look and feel of your publication has a lot to do with the choices you make when working with text. That includes things like layout, formatting, and arranging your publication so it's easy to read. In this video, we'll take a look at some of the features that are unique to Publisher, starting with text boxes. Let's zoom in so you can see how they work. Text boxes, like the ones here and here, are the part of your publication where you enter, edit, and display text. To insert one, make sure you're on the Home tab, then click the Draw Text Box command. Your cursor will turn into a crosshair, and the command will stay highlighted as long as it's active. Now you can click, hold, and drag to draw your text box, then release your mouse and type. Let's fast forward so you can see the finished product. I've applied some formatting using the same commands you'd use in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. Now we can drag and drop the photo into place. But something's wrong. See what happened to the text? Sometimes, when you position a text box near an image or another object, it can overlap or affect the layout. To fix this, you'll want to change the text wrap settings for the object itself. First, make sure it's selected, then go to the Picture Tools Format tab. Now click Wrap Text, and choose the option that suits your needs. There, that looks good. The contact information is getting cut off at the bottom now, though. Publisher lets you know whenever something like this happens by marking the text box with red anchors. Of course, we could resize the text box by hand, but I'd like to take this opportunity to demonstrate a feature called Text Fit. You can access it on the Text Box Tools Format tab. This feature allows you to format your text box or the text inside in order to get the perfect fit automatically. Shrink text on overflow is often a good choice, but I think that makes the text a little too small here. Let's undo and try something else. How about grow text box to fit? Now the text box will resize automatically based on the size and length of the text, even as I continue to add more. Let's move on to another page in my newsletter, one with an article that's actually several paragraphs long. Once again, it's a little too big for the text box. This time, we'll fix the problem by going to the Format tab, then choosing Create Link. Unlike a link to a website, this command lets you create a second text box for your content so it has some place to overflow and continue. Just click where you want the text box to go, then move or resize it as necessary, and you're all set. This newsletter is really coming together. One of the last things I'd like to show you is how to customize hyphenation in your text. Notice how some of these words are broken up so they continue on the next line? Publisher does this automatically to improve the way the text fits in the box. To modify these settings, click the hyphenation command. If you increase the hyphenation zone, that's this number here, your publication will have fewer hyphens. If you decrease it, your text will appear more even, but it will also be more broken up. Let's try increasing the zone to make the text easier to read. Now for the finishing touch, adding some formatting to the text. Of course, we could use familiar commands like bold or italics, but I thought we'd take a look at typography instead. These commands only work with certain fonts, like Calibri, Cambria, and Gabriola, but they can be fun to experiment with. Drop Cap, for example, enlarges the first letter of your text. See how it works? Maybe you've seen this technique before in a magazine or a book. Other commands work best on a single line of text, like the title of this article. Let's try stylistic sets. With this feature, you can add a little embellishment or a lot. I think I'll go with something in between. And there we go. What a difference it makes for your publication to know how to work with text, including typography, text boxes, and customizing your layout.
Like what you just saw? Rate it.
Add a comment.
Subscribe to our channel.
The freedom to learn.
What you want, when you want.
Absolutely free.
GCFlearnfree.org.
The greeting card I'm working on is almost done. I've typed up everything I want to include on the front and on the inside. The only thing missing? Pictures. Adding pictures to your publication is a great way to make it more effective and more visually appealing. It all starts with the Insert tab. In this example, I already know which picture I want to use here. It's a photo that I have saved to my computer. That means we can click the Picture command, navigate to where it's being kept, then click the button to insert it. There are lots of things you can do to enhance your pictures in Publisher. First, I'm going to make this one a little smaller using the sizing handles here or in the corners. All you have to do is click and drag. Then we'll move the photo roughly into place, again by clicking and dragging your mouse. Now we can start formatting the picture so it fits the style of the card. For that, you'll find everything you need on the Picture Tools Format tab, which appears anytime you have a picture selected. One of the quickest ways to enhance your publication is to apply a picture style. This works especially well with photos. As you can see from the preview, there are several different shapes and styles to choose from. Each one gives your picture a different look. Next, we're going to crop the photo to eliminate some of this negative space on the right. Just click the Crop command, then click and drag the cropping handles until you're satisfied with the result. This can be done with any type of picture, whether it's formatted like this one or not at all. Now I'm going to reposition my picture one last time before we add a caption to it. This feature is popular in publications like brochures with product descriptions and newsletter articles. I'm looking for something very simple that I can center right below the photo. There, that looks nice. Now we can turn our attention to the inside of the card. We'll also go back to the Insert tab. I don't have an image for this part of my publication, but I'll bet we can find something in clip art. Publisher's clip art gallery is full of pictures, graphics, and other media that you can search using keywords. Just enter your search term in the box, then click Go. Let's see. This one looks good. To add it to my publication, I'm going to click the thumbnail, then close this window so we can take a good look. See what happened to the text when I inserted the picture? This can happen anytime you have an object positioned near a text box. To fix that, we'll need to change the picture's text wrap settings. Just make sure it's selected, then go back to the Format tab. Now click Wrap Text, and this time we'll choose None. Finally, one of the most basic edits you can make to a picture is modifying its brightness or contrast here in the Adjust group. Although these tools are separated into two different commands, I find they work best when you use them together. Here's how it works. Click Brightness to increase or decrease how dark the picture is. We'll increase this one by just 10%. Click Contrast to either increase or decrease the contrast. You can also change the color of the picture to better fit your publication. Just click Recolor, then choose from black and white, sepia tone, or one of the options that incorporates your color scheme. On second thought, I'm happy with mine the way it is. If you ever change your mind about any of the formatting choices you've made, whether it's the color or the picture style, you can always change back to the original using the Reset Picture command. But, like I said, I'm happy with what we've put together. I think the right imagery can really help you communicate your message, whether you choose to use clip art, other graphics, or your own photos. Publisher gives you so many options.
Like what you just saw? Rate it.
Add a comment.
Subscribe to our channel.
The freedom to learn.
What you want, when you want.
Absolutely free.
GCFlearnfree.org.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Business cards, newsletters, invitations, brochures. Whenever I need something printed that's quick and easy but still looks professional, believe it or not, I do it myself. All it takes is a printer, some planning, and a program like Microsoft Publisher. Hi, I'm Bronwyn. I made this name badge using a regular printer, like the one you have at home or at work, and a special kit that comes with everything you need, including the paper and these little plastic holders. In this video, we're going to take a look at more examples like this one, while we talk about the different things you need to consider before you begin your publication. Planning ahead is important, especially if you're new to desktop publishing. Why? Well, from personal experience, I can tell you that things don't always turn out the way you thought they would. Sometimes it takes a little foresight. Sometimes it's a matter of choosing the right materials. And sometimes you just have to be honest with yourself about what your printer can and can't do. But don't worry. Designing and printing your own quality publications is easy. You just have to take it one step at a time. The first thing on your list should be your layout. In other words, what you want your publication to look like. You probably already have an idea based on the project itself. For example, a large poster or a small folding brochure. It's important to think about this in advance because it has an impact on printing and assembly later. Here are some tips to help you get started. If you're using Publisher or even another program like InDesign, you might want to start with a template. A template can help you pinpoint things like the right size and orientation for your project, the margins, and the way your content should be laid out. Sometimes it helps to print a test copy or put together a mock-up on paper. This is the first thing I do if my publication is going to be double-sided or folded because otherwise it can be hard to picture the final product. One more tip. It might be worth it to buy special materials for your project like these prepackaged labels. If that's something you plan to do, make your choice early on. That way you can use this model number to find a template. Planning doesn't stop when you finish choosing a layout though. You still have a wide range of paper and print options to consider, which can have a big impact on the design process. Basically, it's time to start thinking about what your publication is going to look like when you actually print it. First, make sure you use the same size paper as your publication layout. That's why it's important to plan ahead. Otherwise, you're likely to be disappointed with the way it fits on the page. Think about using something other than standard white paper. For example, things like greeting cards or this invitation usually use a heavier paper called cardstock, which has more weight and structure than regular paper. See how it works? You should also decide whether you're going to print in black and white or in color. Color ink is expensive and can run out quickly if you're working on a large project. As an alternative, printing in black and white on colored paper is a great way to save money but still make your publication stand out. Finally, if you're new to desktop publishing, I recommend printing a test page early in the design process so you can see what your printer is capable of. If you're unhappy with the results, you can always adjust your print settings or start making plans to use a professional printer. There's one more thing to keep in mind when planning your publication: assembly and delivery. In other words, what happens after you hit print. Sometimes it's as simple as removing your project from the printer tray. At other times, there's a little more work involved. Here are some tips. Always check with your post office if you're going to be doing any bulk mailing. There may be pricing options or restrictions in your area that you'll want to know about beforehand. Make sure you set aside time and materials to do things like cutting, folding, and stapling your publication. Unfortunately, this is the one thing Publisher can't do for you, but special equipment like a paper cutter can help. Things like this just take time, whether you're separating the paper or assembling the holders, so having someone to help you can make all the difference. It takes time to put together any type of publication, from planning your layout to choosing the right paper. But with a little foresight and some of the tricks we've talked about today, you can create professional publications at home or at work. One of the best ways to add more color and interest to your publications is to add shapes. There are lots of different kinds to choose from, and they can all be customized using your own color palette, preferences, and more. To get started, go to the Insert tab, then click the Shapes command. Take a look at the menu to see if there's anything you like. I think this sun shape would be perfect for the business card we're working on. Just click, hold, and drag your mouse roughly where you want the shape to go, and now we can start customizing it to fit the style of the project. The first thing I'm going to do is make the shape a little smaller using the sizing handles. These can be found on the sides and the corners of any shape or object in Publisher. Every shape will also have a green handle that you can drag to rotate in any direction. See how it works? And if your shape has a yellow handle, you can use that to make other adjustments. In this case, it changes the size and shape of the sun's rays, but it just depends. Some shapes don't have this option at all. The last thing I'd like to do is change the color and basically the overall style of the shape. For that, you'll find everything you need on the Drawing Tools Format tab, which appears anytime you have a shape selected. Now, the quickest way to add a fill color or an effect would be to use a pre-designed shape style. As you can see, you can mouse over for a preview, or open the drop-down menu for more. For this shape, though, I have something else in mind, so I'm going to customize the colors individually, starting with the shape fill. First, we'll pick a nice soft yellow. How about this one? Then for the outline, I actually prefer nothing at all. And I think that does it. Before we wrap things up, I'd like to show you another type of object in Publisher that can help you add more color and interest to what you're working on. You'll find this one on the Insert tab, under Building Blocks. Building blocks are pre-designed page elements like borders and accents, and calendars, all of which can be customized to fit your publication. Take the flip side of my business card. Here I'd like to add something that introduces the different services listed on the right. I bet we could find something under page parts. Let's try this heading. Building blocks are easy to resize and reposition. Just use the sizing handles and drag and drop the object wherever you want it to go. Now we can start filling in our information. With a little formatting here, and maybe a few more bright graphic shapes when I'm done, I think this business card is really going to make a great impression.
Like what you just saw? Rate it.
Add a comment.
Subscribe to our channel.
The freedom to learn.
What you want, when you want.
Absolutely free.
GCF LearnFree.org